I am a 20-year-old full-time university student with a part-time job as a tutor. I don't drive, nor do I cook, so I'm spending money on food to eat or to pay someone for the gas. My mother works full-time, from 4 a.m. to as late as 4 p.m. at a staple brand store, not saying the name for obvious reasons, and gets the full 40 hours of work a week. I'm only able to do 19 hours a week. That's the max I can get before I'm considered full-time, and they'd need to give me benefits and make way less than she does. Recently, she asked me to co-sign a car for her since my credit score, 700 plus, is significantly better than hers, 300 plus. She always says it's low due to my father, semi out of the picture, but she also always mentions how she has a lot of credit card bills, has a negative balance, and how I, someone making significantly less money than her, have way more money than she does. I told her right off the bat I would never want to co-sign anything because it's an easy way to get saddled with debt that I will never be able to pay. She got very mad at me and told me to stop being mean, and I felt I had no choice but to give her the credentials she needed. Today she practically begged me to call the office, and when I did, I may have been a little childish by sounding super irritated. Mind you, I didn't yell or rush or anything, I just sounded like someone who didn't want to do this. She got super mad at me, slammed my door, and after a few minutes, sent me a message saying I never do anything for her and that I'm on my own from now on. This is not the first time she has pressured me into doing things like this. She forced me to open up a credit card so she can use it, always pressured me into doing things I'm not comfortable with, and yells and screams at me when I don't understand her vague instructions or what she is thinking, but not saying. I also know I am not the best daughter, but I do try. I wake up every Monday, Thursday when my mom works, and I get my 6-year-old sister ready for school no matter how tired or busy I am. I've also recently had a health scare which I asked if she could take me to the doctor, to which she started saying the reason it was happening was because of my own choices and diet, and told me she wasn't taking me. She also sometimes won't come home at all, meaning I'm watching my sister for long periods of time without any notice nor response. She also has a perfectly functional car. My grandfather and father's car are basically falling apart, and her car has one little dent on the trunk. Still, I feel guilty, like I should have pretended to be happy and more than excited to co-sign a car for her. So am I the jerk? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I wouldn't co-sign for her. There's a reason she has a 300 credit score. It's because she doesn't pay her bills. If you co-sign, she won't make the payments and you will be stuck with them. They will repo the car and come after you for the balance owed on the car after they resell it. You are attending school full-time and working half-time. You have more than enough on your plate right now. Add the stress of worrying about mom's debt which you took on will make it impossible for you to finish your studies, which means you will be working from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. at a Staples brand store paying off your mom's car that she doesn't even have anymore. Just say no. Comment 2. Not the idiot for not wanting to co-sign the car, but YTA to yourself because, if I understood correctly, you did it anyway. Big mistake. If you don't disentangle yourself from your mother's shambolic finances, she'll end up ruining your credit score too, not to mention draining your resources while you're working hard to establish yourself in life. My advice: cancel that credit card immediately and return the car. Sorry to be harsh, but your mother is a narcissist and a parasite. I get wanting to be there for your sister, but you being there won't save her. It just enables your mother to be even shittier. Stop giving her money, save your money, and move far, far away. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I wouldn't sweat it though. You will probably be turned down as a co-signer since you don't have enough income for a new car anyways, but you can pre-check with a dealer because it also depends upon the price of the car and loan amount in the end, but the rule is to never co-sign for anyone, especially family, for obvious reasons. Now, for the next story. My 26-year-old daughter and I went with my dad, who is 59 years old, to visit some other family while my husband was away for work. This morning, I was cleaning my sister's house for her while she was at work. My dad gave my daughter a bowl of cereal on the couch, which she spilled almost instantly. It was just a little spill, not a lot. He got mad and asked me, "Can she not eat by herself?" And I replied, "Not cereal on the couch." Just to give some context, she does eat cereal on the couch sometimes, but only if someone is sitting with her and helping her. Otherwise, she eats at the table just fine. Anyway, he got even more mad at me and started yelling, saying, "Well, I've seen her eat just fine. Why are you making me feel like an idiot?" I just grabbed my daughter and moved her to the table and continued cleaning. I didn't say anything after that, which made him even more mad. But we moved on with the day. Later, we were getting ready to go to a corn maze with my nieces. My dad, daughter, and I stopped at a convenience store to buy drinks. I grabbed 5 cold drinks for everyone and some baby wipes to clean my daughter's sticky hands. My dad took the baby wipes and was trying and struggling to open them in the store to clean her hands. I said, "My hands are really cold, can we just go pay and I'll clean her hands in the car?" He got very upset. He stood there yelling at me about treating him like a 5-year-old, how he can't do anything right, and how he's sick of being treated like that. He then told me, "When we walk out of here, I'm going home. I don't care what you do, but I'm going home." Keep in mind, our home is a 6-7 hour car ride away. So I told him, "Okay, give me my kid and I'll call my sister." I set all the drinks down, grabbed my daughter, and started to walk away. He asked me not to, so we paid and got in the car. Then he said in the car, "You can't take her away from me. If you want to not talk to me, not see me, that's one thing. But don't take her away from me." My dad has always been oversensitive and overreactive to everything, but I feel like I might have gone a little overboard. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your father seems to have anger issues. He gets carried away by little things and all this in front of your daughter. Has he always been like this? Or is this a recent change? You can't change your father, but there's one thing you can say to him. Before being your daughter, I'm a mother, and I want the best for my kid. Lately, you've been shouting and getting angry in front of my daughter, which scares her. And I don't want her to be exposed to this kind of atmosphere that's harmful to her. If you're not willing to make an effort, you won't see her anymore. Her well-being comes first. I think your father sincerely loves his granddaughter, but he'll have to make an effort if he wants to continue seeing her. Comment 2. Not the idiot at all. Your dad is acting like a child. If you treated him that way, which I don't think you did, he would deserve it. He threatened to leave, likely thinking that this would get you to apologize to him for whatever he imagined you did wrong. It backfired, and he turned it around on you to make it seem like you were the problem. His gaslighting of you is blatant. You're fine. He's not. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your father sounds unhinged. I'd never let someone like that near my child. He seems like the kind of person that's one tantrum away from straight up kidnapping your child because he believes it would be for the best, when in reality, he just needs something to stroke his ego about. Now, for the next story. My sister is living with me at the moment. Her husband cheated on her and kicked her out. They are in the middle of a very messy divorce, and she was pregnant when that went down. We made a nursery out of my office for her. She gave birth about 3 months ago, and the baby didn't make it. The problem is that I need my office back, and since the nursery isn't being used, I asked to convert it back about a month ago. It didn't go well, so we kept it there. She isn't going back to work now since she quit. This makes the problem of the office even worse. Before I could work on the kitchen table, but I cannot concentrate at all since she is always bothering me when working. It's affecting my job. She would have been back to work by now if she didn't quit, and the baby would have been watched by Mom at this time. I asked again to get my office back. It didn't go well. She got in an argument, and she thinks I am a horrible person. So would I be the idiot? I need an office back, and it is my home. Comment 1. Not the idiot. This is terribly sad, but you need a place to work. Let her know you'll be converting the space back to an office by X date, that you know this is hard for her, and ask whether there are small items from the space she'd like for keepsakes before you empty it. If there is furniture, she likely won't agree to sell it, but she might be okay with donating it to someone in need. Basically, take the choice away from her, so it's not her feeling like she's being disloyal to the memory of her baby. You'll be the bad guy, but over time, hopefully she'll understand. Comment 2. More info. Can your sister stay with your mother instead? If not, can your mother keep your sister occupied during your working hours? Since your mother was going to watch the baby, I assume she has the time to do this. I feel that you're not the idiot. Even given your sister's heartbreaking situation, it's completely unreasonable for her to expect you to set aside an entire room in your house as a shrine. If she needs some type of shrine, try setting one up in a corner of your sister's bedroom or the shared living space. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's tragic that your sister's baby did not survive, but she can't hijack your house forever because of it. If she had her own house, then she could leave the nursery as is for however long she wants, but she doesn't. You were generous in allowing her to move in with you. Now she's not working and taking up your space. I'd have to tell her that I'm very sorry for her pain, but you have to have your office space back. You're not asking her, you're telling her. Now for the next story. I, 27-year-old, used to have the closest relationship with my brother, 30-year-old, ever since we were kids. and have felt like I could trust him with anything. However, once I got married and had kids, my brother's grown increasingly distant over the last few years, and I couldn't understand why. When I asked him to be the godfather of my sons, he told me he didn't think that was a good idea, but refused to elaborate. That was 5 years ago. And now that I have a daughter, my brother is more distant than ever. Last week, I went over to my brother's house to talk to him, hoping to figure out what was wrong and hoping to mend whatever caused this rift between us. I asked him what was going on, why he was so distant when we used to be so close. He didn't want to say anything, but I kept pushing. Eventually, my brother broke down and admitted he had an attraction to children, and he was being distant because he didn't want to get too close to my kids. He swears he's never acted on his attraction and showed me his computer to prove it was clean. He told me he's been seeing a therapist for the last 7 years to help keep his desires in check. He pleaded with me repeatedly not to tell anyone, that he can't help his attraction, but he's doing everything he can to not act on it. It was so much information to process, and so I just got up and walked away. My wife has asked me if I learned anything, but I lied and told her no. My feelings have been stewing for a week now, and I'm conflicted on what to do. On the one hand, I feel like I have a moral obligation to do whatever is necessary to keep my children and others safe. On the other hand, I know when my brother is lying, and I believe him when he says he's never acted on his desires, and I feel that exposing him will do nothing but make his life worse for no reason. Am I the idiot for keeping my brother's secret? Am I obligated to rat him out even though he hasn't done anything? Comment 1. Not the idiot. You were trying to be a good brother and got handed way more than you bargained for. Tell your wife something like, he's struggling with his mental health and won't be stable for a long time, so we're going to XYZ to make sure you can keep your kids safe. If you have the bandwidth, check in with your brother once in a while and offer to speak with his care team if they think it'll be helpful. But if you can't do that, it's not a bad idea to talk to someone of your own about how to be a kind family member to someone that's struggling with that kind of heavy disorder. His actual diagnosis is not your business to spread around, and not something to just blurt out to your wife without your brother knowing you're explaining it to her, but you have to make sure your brother doesn't victimize anyone. Talking to a professional about how to walk the line between the two is not a bad idea, just for your own health. AKA, oh holy hell, this is beyond Reddit's pay grade. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You know what you need to do to keep your kids safe. He must trust you a lot to confide this to you. It sounds like your brother has a severe mental health issue that he's in treatment for. Check in with him, but keep his secret. It's clear that he's doing everything he possibly can to prevent harm from coming to the kids in his life. This news getting out could be devastating to him, literally devastating. He could lose everything. His family, his job, his reputation, maybe even his life. That being said, if your wife ever finds out that you kept this secret from her, your marriage is over. It sucks that you were given this knowledge. At this point, you're sort of TA either way. There's not a good choice. Comment 3. Not the idiot for keeping the secret. Although not ideal, at least your brother is seeking help via a therapist. He has voluntarily kept his distance from your family, and I would assume from others with children as well, so as not to act upon his impulses. Ratting him out for a thought that he has not acted upon would indeed be an move. Do you really want to ruin his life completely for a condition he has been actively seeking help for the last 7 years? If you expose his secret to anyone, and it gets out, then this may result in him acting on his impulses, as he may feel he has nothing left to lose. He is keeping his distance, so you and your family keep yours. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.